It is my pleasure today to bring to you part of an interview that I did with two of my longtime coaching members, Simon Janus and Ewelina Kurka. They are a married couple in Denver, Colorado. They're going to be speaking at Millions Live that is coming up here in August. Millions Live, you can go to millionslive.com to find out more about that event where we're going to have 7, 8, and 9-figure income earners. They're going to be training and speaking on how do you build wealth? How do you create the mindset and the skill set and the work ethics and the strategies of those who become millionaires and multimillionaires. So today I'm very pleased to bring to you just two wonderful people. They've been in my coaching for over 5 years, and they're awesome. But I want you to, as you listen to it, it's not so much, I don't want you to try to listen so much for the strategies, although they're going to talk about some of the strategies that they use and some of the exact things that they did. But I want you to listen to and pay attention to the way that they show up, in a conversation, because it is that confidence, it is that certainty that exemplifies who they are, that shows up in how they communicate with others and lead people to decisions and get people to say yes to them and get people to hire them. They have created for themselves a 7-figure income with a great lifestyle with themselves and their 2 sons. And it is because of the way they think and because of the work that they have been willing to do. So enjoy the interview, and please post any comments, questions that you have, anything that you have from the conversation with them and listening to it, and then I will see you on the other side. So give everybody real quickly the introduction about your real estate background that brought you from day one when you first started real estate to today.
So I started real estate 16 years ago, fix and flips, mostly fix and flips, just a little bit buy and sell residential, but mostly fix and flips. After 10 years, Evelina joined me as an agent, and then we found you 5 years ago. I cannot believe it. And here you go.
5 years, I know. Seems like it was last month.
Yeah.
I know, we were just talking like how many years? Like 5 years. So I've been doing real estate for 6 years. So I guess it was my first year in real estate when I came across your YouTube videos. Yeah. How to prospect expired and FISBOs. So long time.
And you showed up at an event, and then you went home and said, Simon, you got to go to the next one. And so he came to the next event.
Yeah. And I signed up for Inner Circle.
Inner Circle right after. And I wasn't sure about that because I'm like, I don't think you're ready for that. But he said like, no, we have to elevate our game and be surrounded by other agents that are already successful, because if they're successful, then maybe we can learn from them. So I think that was a pivotal moment to become an Inner Circle member.
So, and of course, you guys had to do, you had to go through the challenge before you were allowed to even apply for the Inner Circle.
Yeah, I did the challenge. Yeah.
So Evelina made challenge, and I made 150,000, and that was the requirement. But we connect both of us to just join the Inner Circle.
So tell us about this decision to get into, because for you said, I wanted to get into the Inner Circle. Today it's called the Round Table of Thrones. Yes. So tell us about why that was so important for you, for both of you, to get into that group. Why was that important to you?
You know, like everything else in our life, you know, especially in, you know, let's say in real estate, you know, like in our office, we're like number 1, number 3, whatever, every month, and there's not enough right people in our office I can go and share, or I cannot just go to my friends talking about business because they will never understand. So we need that group of people, the right people, we can go and be open and not be, we don't have to hold on and just talk to them about business, about our dreams, which are crazy. But everybody else has, crazy dreams. So, I will want to be in that circle. So
Yeah.
I guess we
So
just needed a group of people that will lift us up,
Mhm.
even though that was his idea to join the inner circle. I didn't feel comfortable with that. And I told him, well, I didn't know when sign up, but then you told me, and I'm like, I don't think we're ready for this yet. I don't think we have anything to maybe add, like any value. But he said, no, we have to be surrounded by someone who's better than us, who's more successful than us, then they can lift us up. I don't know if that makes sense, but I think that was the idea.
That's the
And
whole.
I was not comfortable, but then after a while, it just became normal. So I guess we were pretending to be successful at the beginning in the inner circle, I would say. I mean, we were successful, we were making money, but I don't think we felt worthy of being there. But then just because I was pretending, then we became it. That makes sense.
So when you first got into this higher level of coaching, where you had agents who were definitely making more money than you guys were making at the time, you felt like they were all ahead of you, for sure.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. 100%.
And because they were ahead of you, especially Evelina, your feeling was like, I'm not worthy to be in this environment. That's how you felt, right?
Yeah.
Well, here's my question. By putting yourself into an environment, into an association with other people that were ahead of you, financially, some of them way ahead, did that slow your progress down, stop you from succeeding, or did it accelerate your progress towards success?
It did accelerate it. I mean, you become the average of the, five, there's the saying, you become the average of the 5 people you're surrounded with. And I have to say, like, you as a coach and the community, the inner circle, was one of those 5, probably the half of the 5 people that we knew, back then. So I was just like, oh my gosh, if they can do it, I can do it. And then I had no choice just to kind of like do the work. And just by doing, we became it eventually. So
Guys, this is so important for all of you guys to pick up here. If you're the smartest person in your circle, in the people that you are closest to, that you associate with, that you talk to every single week, especially people that are engaged in this conversation about your business, your success. If you're the smartest person in that room, you're in the wrong fucking room. And I promise you, to put yourself in a place where you can really grow is only in a place where you are uncomfortable. If you are totally comfortable with the people you're hanging out with right now, then you need some new friends. Right now, if you need friends that make you sweat, you need association that makes you go like, oh shit, if I don't perform, then these people are going to hang out with me, because that instantly elevates you. It forces you to grow. It forces you to become something that you were not. It forces you to become better. And when you're hanging out with people that are better, you can learn from them how to become better. And you see their belief, not only in themselves, they believe in you. And there is an incredible generosity among high achievers. Did you guys experience this when you guys came into at the time, the inner circle? Did you see that how generous everybody was?
Yeah, like everybody shared, with everybody. So that's what's good. There was no hiding. There's no secrets. And
they were sharing their ups and downs. I
Exactly.
remember the first mastermind event we did. Place in California, and like that was my first event, so I was kind of intimidated a little bit. But then people were sharing for 2 days. I'm like, oh my gosh, they kind of have the same problems we have, and they kind of went through the similar situations and same thoughts and limiting beliefs. Also, so I'm like, oh my gosh, like they kind of on the same journey. For me, first, it looked like they had an overnight success, but for them, it's been maybe years of prospecting, dealing with clients, and like, okay, it makes sense. So it takes time. I think we can, make it happen too.
Yep. Guys, here's one of the most important things that you want to make sure you know and understand. You're not alone. Whatever you're struggling with in the business, whatever you're struggling with in your head, in your tactics, your strategies, you're not alone. You're not the only one that struggles with that. I hear people, one of the most common things people get into real estate new, and they start calling expireds, and they'll go like, it seems like all the numbers are disconnected and it's either the wrong number or the number's disconnected or they're already listed or they don't answer the phone. Nobody answers the phone. And all those stories are like, of course, this is part of the game, right? This is part of the game. Well, I had people that I knew and I thought they were going to use me and they used somebody else. Well, of course, this is part of the game. This happens. And it happens until you become the person they can't, the person that they can't ever use anybody else. Evelina, tell us about this for you guys, for your journey as a real estate agent. When you started, we talk about in the real estate vortex, the personal circle vortex, that you build your relationships in the circle of your relationships and learning to make that your number one source of business. So kind of share with everybody what you went through and what you did when that hit you in the face, that your personal circle was not perfectly loyal.
Yeah, well, I was doing your challenges back then. I did like multiple challenges, and the first, I guess, project that we have to do, first assignment, is to connect with your personal circle. And we have the script we have to follow. One thing about me, like, I'm a doer. So even though I'm scared or I don't feel like I have enough, I don't know, like, I might be scared, but I'm going to do it. So when Kevin was telling me call 100 people, anyone that you know, I would call every single person. So that was a win already. So I was getting some business from that. But I think that was the second challenge that I'm doing 6 months later, which means I'm calling exactly the same number, the same clients, past clients, the same friends that I called 6 months ago. And it was surprising to me that when I was calling to them, they were telling me, oh, I just sold my home, or I just bought this home. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. So we just talked 6 months ago. And it seemed that you said that whenever you're going to be ready, you're going to call me. That was not happening. So that was a little bit frustrating. And I felt like, well, we have to come up with something. So I don't know, they just remember about us. And I'm in Denver, Colorado, and I believe it's everywhere we are, that on average, people know, I don't know, 6, 7, 10 real estate agents. So somehow there's always an agent around you. So whoever gets to you first probably will get the business. So I decided at one point that I needed commitment from my clients, from my personal circle, that I am, or Simon, we are their go-to agents. So that was another challenge. So I was following your scripts, asking about when are you planning to make a move. And I added one more question. So when I asked them if they're moving, they said not at this time. So I asked them, who's your go-to person, like go-to agent at this moment? And I think, that was so interesting because that wasn't scripted. And I think that was like, I was the first person who asked them that question. So they didn't have any answers. They're like, well, I don't know. I guess you guys are our go-to agents. And I had maybe more than 100 people that I was talking to. Maybe out of those 100, maybe 3 said, you know what, Evelina, I love you. I admire your tenacity that you're calling us. But my sister-in-law, she's an agent, so she's always going to be my number one. Maybe they said, yeah, they have a family member. But otherwise, everyone was like so surprised that I asked this question. They said, no one ever asked them that question. And they told me, you know what, just because you asked this bold question, I think you guys are going to be our go-to agents. So we decided to add this question to every single time we adding someone to our personal circle, we making sure that they're committed to us, that we are their go-to agents. We hired a new CPA for us. So we hired him to be our CPA, but you ask him like, hey, Dimitri, like, who's your go-to agent? You have a lot of agents. In your practice that they actually, hired you. And he was like, oh my gosh, you know what? I know some of them, but no one ever asked me about this. I guess you guys are going to be our go-to agent. So I guess we just became bold and started asking for business.
And if they say, oh, we have somebody, family member, whatever, like they're our agent, at least we know where we're standing with that. That's number one. Second thing, if they say we're not number one because of that, it's like, hey, can we be number two? Can we be the backup just in case if something happens?
And trust me, you can become from backup to number one really quickly because agents make a lot of mistakes. So it's okay to be number 2.
Okay, so let's stop. Let's time out right there because your microphone was kind of going in and out.
Oh,
so the
okay.
question, right, the question that she was asking, and that her and Simon started asking everybody is, are we your go-to agent? When you get ready to buy or sell, are we your go-to agent? In other words, they were asking people to declare loyalty. Now, here's what's so crazy. And I'm telling you guys, the reason I'm telling you this is because I am seeing more and more of real estate trainers and brokers out there who are trying to tell you don't have to call the people that you know. Don't be bugging your friends and neighbors and relatives and past clients. Stop harassing them, and you don't ever have to call them again. Okay, 70% of real estate transactions, the buyer or seller uses an agent they already know, and they're only going to talk to that one agent. They're not going to interview agents, and it's going to be somebody they already know. It's not going to be somebody they found on Instagram or social media. That's not who it's going to be. But I get these trainers are out there trying to, because you don't want to talk to the people that you know. Now, we're going to talk more in the future about why you don't want to talk to the people you know. But what I want to tell you is when you choose to do what Simon and Evelina did, and that is not only talk to them, but ask them just point blank. When you get ready to buy or sell, are we your go-to agents? Are we go-to agents? And what did that do, Evelina? What do you feel like that did for the relationship?
I mean, first of all, that was a commitment. As I mentioned before, some of them, they were just impressed that I actually asked this question. For them, it means that, you know, if I'm not scared to ask this right now, I'm going to be representing them the same way when I'm going to be buying or selling for them. It was an example, like we just sold Chris's house, and Chris, so we had a listing 3 years ago, and we had a buyer agent with a client. She made an offer. We went under contract with them, but we could tell that buyer agent was not really working hard for the buyer. So we ended up getting to know Chris, the buyer, and over 3 years, we made some calls, and we eventually asked, can we be your go-to agent, even though he had someone 2-3 years ago. And he said, yes, absolutely. And he just called us, 3 months ago, can you guys sell this home for me? So we sold the same house twice, the same listing, just different, by then that was the buyer. Now Chris was the seller.
Yep.
I mean, they just commit to you. They just commit to you and ask you, why you, Chris, came back to us? And he's like, I don't know, like you and Simon, you keep calling us. I mean, you're our agents for life. I just couldn't even think of anyone else than call you. And He had an agent 3 years ago, and he forgot about that agent a long time ago. And we were not pushy. We were not bugging him. I mean, we're making different calls just to check on him. We delivered like 3 pies to him, like November of every single year. Oh my gosh, pies? Asking about being to-go agent and delivering pies in November. I think if you just do those 2 things, you will have clients. You will be good. You will have business. I can tell you.
Oh, totally. Now, guys, they're giving you strategy here that will completely change the game for you. So number one, she and Evelina started this. She started doing this because she was pissed off. She was pissed off that somebody that they knew that they talked to used somebody else. And she's like, that is not going to happen anymore. I'm just going to call everybody and I'm just going to ask them point blank, am I your go-to agent? Don't ever do this to me again. Don't take my phone call and then use another agent. So it's like, are we your go-to agent? And she just started asking them. Now, the power of this, guys, is the power of a call to action. And that is that you ask them to declare yes or no. I don't care which it is, but I want to know, am I your agent or am I not your agent? And there's 2 or 3, she said 2 or 3% out of 100, maybe 2 or 3, just go like, no, my sister-in-law is my agent. I like you. I love you, but blood's thicker than water. I'm going to use family. Okay, cool. Let us be your backup. We'll be, is it okay if we're your second teamer? Absolutely. Okay, perfect. And then you're not attached. But in that moment, they have made a declaration of commitment to you. And then you continue to show up on their radar, maintaining top of mind awareness so they don't forget you and they don't forget their commitment. And then, so this other piece she's talking about is what we call the pie giveaway. And typically every Thanksgiving, they'll give a pie to their A-teamers. How many pies do you guys give away every year? Do you guys ballpark? You know how many pies you give away?
At least 120.
About 120 pies. Okay. And it probably didn't start that big, but here's the thing, guys. This is and we do things, I recommend Thanksgiving because it's a time when it's not a gift giving season. We think of Christmas and Hanukkah, those are the gift giving holidays. Thanksgiving, nobody gives gifts. And so when you give it to them, and everybody eats pies. So you do a pie giveaway. I'm not going to go into the details of the strategy because it is in your Master Path Playbook. Okay, the pie giveaway is what I do is I create this emotion of reciprocity, create top of mind awareness by you giving them something of generosity that makes them feel indebted to you, makes them feel endeared to you. And so it's like, oh, and literally the part of this is to make you irresistible, that they'll never use anybody else. And there's just two strategies. One, ask, and two, give. Ask and give and do them consistently. Okay. Now in your Master Path Playbook, which all of you have access to, okay, I shared with you guys earlier where that is, the downloads, that if you'll download that, there's tons of content, but the real estate, the personal circle vortex, that is the first system after your schedule that I would set up. Your first schedule is taking control of your time. Your second priority is taking control of your business and of your relationships. And this is a great thing that they have done. Okay, so Simon, last thing I want to just get you guys to kind of talk about is a little bit of your backstory about how you guys ended up here, where you came from, and just tell us kind of a little bit about your backstory of immigrating to America and how that happened and why that happened and kind of what you want.
Okay, so so we came from Poland. We came 22 years ago. Pretty much $200 in the pocket. Ticket one way, visa for 3 months. I love this story, and a lot of dreams. I always knew real estate is, I don't know why, but you know, like watching TV in Poland, I like, you know, watching, you know, a little bit about United States, I knew there is money in real estate. And when we came, of course, it was just regular job, Starbucks, Chili's, restaurant, and other stuff. And meantime, doing fix and flips when we have couple hours between. But I never want to be in that like survivor zone and working in the jobs 9 to 5. I strongly believe you are in survival mode. And when you are in that mode, you are not creating. You don't have power to create. That's what I love about real estate. Sky is the limit. You know, you can just do whatever you want. It's just, you have to just make it happen. You know, sometimes I'm just like, why people can just drive, why they feel more comfortable driving Uber for 5-6 hours to make $100 or $150, I don't care, and not go and knock to the door and try to get 10,000-15,000 commission. Yep. When I hear agents do that, oh, we have to make extra money. Oh my God, the real estate is the place. Is the place. So you know, so that's why I was like, okay, so you know, that's the backstory. Well, let's say this way. I don't like going too much into it. Yeah.
That's right. You came to America with $200 and no job. No job.
No.
Where did you live when you first got here? Where did you live? Did you stay with family or?
No. I stayed with a few friends for a couple months. Then I saved money for a car, just go work in the morning in, I think it was Chili's and other places, save as much money as possible. And then Evelina came, we rented a place. We slept on air mattress for I don't know how many years. uh, and like I said, I always knew that the money is in real estate. You just need to figure out how to get this.
And I think, the law of attraction was helping us. It was
Oh, yeah.
because you were at Starbucks and there was this gal who, your
Yeah.
client, and I don't know, she liked him for some reason and she knew he wants to be in real estate. So she paid for his real estate school. Her name was Laura. She was a broker owner.
Yeah.
So someone paid for his school. We didn't pay for that. Someone actually paid for his real estate school.
Yeah.
And then you were at Chili's and you met our future business partners.
Yeah.
And they were looking for someone who's willing to, partner up on a fix and flip, deal. And he said, like, yeah, I want to do it. That's what I was.
They
planning to
had
do.
money and I
They
have
had
good.
money and the credits, I guess.
Yeah.
So I don't know, like things started to lining up, like doing normal jobs, but then we met someone and met another person. So step after step,
Because we are looking for, so the key is always think about it, look for it, and it's going to line up. It's, everybody has the stories like, I don't know how this happened, but that person or that thing just came to my life. And that's why I am where I am, because no, it's not exactly that. It's not they show up. You are looking for them.
Yeah.
And so that's what I love about, let's say about you, and we have to dream. I don't want to say dream. Dream is a good word, but you have to look for it. So stuff like this, they're going to line up. You just don't know. And I heard something like that. You cannot connect that into the future. You can just connect them, but looking back. So my goal to make as many dots as possible with meeting with everybody, and somehow I don't know exactly how. I know I will get there, and the dots are going to connect.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So this is really powerful, guys. He's saying, looking back, you can see how everything led to me here, but looking forward, you can always see what's going to do, but you make these decisions. But one of the things that I want to just leave with this, with Simon and Evelina, and Simon is going to be speaking at Millions Live. Evelina, tell them where you're going to be.
Well, I'm actually going to Poland. My dad is turning 90. So that's a big birthday. So I want to be there. I'm just going for 10 days a week, but I want to spend that time with my family in Poland.
Yeah, which is that's the right place to be. So I'm super excited for you. And guys, this is part of what making a lot of money allows you to do, is how it allows you to have the choices to do the things you want to do, like go travel to Poland, spend 10 days with family and not have to worry about paying for it. You just I need to go. I'm going to go. Boom, done. Other than going like, how do we afford to go? Can I afford to go? Just even for me, flying from LA to Costa Rica, a 6-hour flight. And it's like, I can't imagine sitting in a coach airplane seat on an airliner for 6 hours. I want one that lays down. I want one that's comfortable first. So that's why I fly first class. Is like, I don't want to do, but if you don't have money, you're like, everything in life is you're having to figure out how to manipulate things and just get by. You want to just get by, or you want to create the way that you can do things the way you want to do them. And that's what Simon and Evelina have done. They've had their first 7-figure year last year, making over $1 million last year, which was crazy because they got, smacked in the face with rising interest rates. They just kind of hit their business right in the face. What they do, they adjusted, they adapted and did it. So Simon, Evelina, thank you guys so much. There's so much, guys, that you can learn when you put yourself in association with people like this. And this is like, I want you, as you listen to them and as you see them and as you watch them, and then as Simon comes to Millions Live, those of you that are going to be in the room, you want to talk to them, you want to spend time with these people. And here's what I want you to think. And this is the most important thing when you're around people who are at high levels above you, when you're not the smartest person in the room, which you should never be. I don't want to just find out what they know. I want to find out how they think. I want to find out who they are that is different than who I am. What do they believe about themselves? What do they believe about success that is different? Look at their bodies, look at their body language, look at the way they carry themselves, look at their presence, look at their relationships, look at everything about them and go like, who would I have to be? How would I have to be different to have what they have? Rather than looking at them and going like, okay, well, I want more strategy. See, here's the thing, guys. Simon and Evelina do not have a strategy any different than yours. They did not become multimillionaires because of their strategy. They have the same strategy that every one of my coaching members have. What they have is the way they show up and the way they play the game. And I love what Evelina said. She said, I'm a doer. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, here's a clue. Write this down. You guys ready? Here's the clue. Do the fucking work. It doesn't matter whether you feel like it or not. It doesn't. She just got literally, she let getting pissed off in this case drive her to do some work and call to action that she normally would not have done. Okay, now I saw a little conversation in one of our coaching groups today about like asking your prospects, asking your leads, asking people in your personal circle to do something. My friends, don't be afraid to ask people to do something. It's called a call to action. Ask them to get, this is how you get yeses, guys. You ask for it. You ask for it. Yes or no. I want an answer. I want you to commit. Now, it's uncomfortable. Is there a risk? Absolutely. But it's like you want to marry somebody, somebody's got to ask. Or you're never going to get married. Yeah, but what? I don't want to be told no. Well, then you won't be. Just don't ask. But you're probably going to stay single too. And the day's going to come when they're going to leave you because they're like, I waited for you to ask me and you never asked me. People respect people who are willing to make commitments and who are willing to ask for commitments. So stop being afraid of that. Go ahead, Evelina.
Can I just say, so what's driving me? So I heard that from someone else a long time ago, that you have to be playing, and we can use the football, American football analogy. You have to be playing on the field. If you're running and playing and you're there, the ball will be thrown to you eventually. It will happen. But if you're sitting on the sidelines and doing nothing, nothing will happen to you. So guys, whatever you just do it. Like
whatever.
I was making calls first, like I was stressing, I was speaking too fast. I thought they're not gonna understand me, but I'm like, whatever. Like I'm just gonna do it because it will get easier later. As long as you're playing, the ball will be thrown to you. I can promise you that's how it works. It is the law.
Absolutely. Totally. Thank you. This is so powerful, guys. And it's not like, well, I'm going to learn how to do this before I get in the game. I'm going to learn and get comfortable doing it before I start doing it. You're never going to get comfortable doing it until you do it. Yeah. Okay. Any last words, Simon, Evelina, for these guys?
So
one takeaway.
So Evelina is going to Poland, and I would love to go with her. Take boys for Father's birthday. However, it's like I told Evelina, I want to go over there. I want to go to Millions Live because you are going to have speakers, and I am going to be the smallest speaker over there. So I want to spend time with them. And what you said, and I think you guys should write down, like what Kevin said already. I don't care what they're going to do, what they're doing to make money, 40 millions, whatever, 15. I really don't care about that because I want to learn how they think. And that's the key. That's the really key. We have thousands of books how to make first $1 million. But nobody's picking them up. Nobody's learning. So I want to meet with them. I really hope you are going to make like dinner for speakers. I really hope I can meet them a little bit more because I want to spend time with them. And for that reason, I'm not going to go to Poland. So I can, I can spend more time with them. And I hope they're going to take me on the private jet back to Colorado.
There you go. Well, there's only one way that'll happen. You got to ask, put yourself into that place of relationship where you have the opportunity to make that happen. That's what happened for me.
Yeah.
That totally happened for me. Simon, Evelina, you guys rock. I love both of you. It's so good to get to spend time.
Well, I hope that was helpful for you. Simon and Evelina, great people. And here's the thing about it, is that one of the limiting beliefs that I was raised with was that people who made a lot of money, people that were wealthy, were somehow bad people. That they were greedy, or they took advantage of other people, or all they thought about was money, or they were materialistic or worldly. And I hope you could sense and see that that is not who this couple is, and this is not who you have to be in order for you to become truly wealthy and live a life of abundance, not only of financial abundance, but also personal abundance in all areas of your life. And you see that in the way Simon and Evelina show up. If you'd like to learn more from them, and you'd like to learn more from people like them, please join us at Millions Live. Go to millionslive.com, get your ticket. It is going to be 3 days of fabulous. We're also doing pre-training, so there's just a whole lot of things that are going to come together to help you break through the things that have limited you and kept your income from being able to truly skyrocket without believing that it's just a matter of you got to work more, and put in more hours. It is just a different way of showing up, a different way of thinking, and a different way of approaching your business, your life, and your success. And yes, my friend, you can have the lifestyle of your dreams. So thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next video.